You can't beat waking up in the morning, having the smell of cinnamon and nutmeg and vanilla in your house and have breakfast ready. Okay, I found another great recipe. Of course, where did I find it? Of course, good old Facebook. And I adjusted it, of course, slightly. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what you need as far as utensils. This is so simple, okay? You need your crock pot, okay? There is the crock pot, okay? You don't even need a spoon for this recipe, but you need your crock pot. You need your liquid measuring cups. You need your dry measuring spoons. You need your dry measuring cups, okay? And that's it. And then, of course, a spoon to eat it afterwards. But, okay, so those are your utensils that you need. So simple, but so good. You know what? I'm sorry. I guess there's one other thing that you need, is you need a knife and a cutting board or cutting surface to cut. Now, what are you going to cut? First of all, what you want to do is you want to take 2 apples. I use Granny Smith here. Of course, wash your apples good with your vinegar water, okay, and rinse them all. So you slice your 2 apples. Now, the recipe calls for 2 sliced apples. What I decided, I like fruits, so I used 2 apples and 1 pear. So you slice up your 2 apples and your 1 pear, okay? And then what you also need is oatmeal. Okay, now the recipe calls for 2 cups of oatmeal. Now I typically use oat bran. Now the reason I like oat bran, because it has more fiber, more protein, a little bit nutritionally better than oatmeal. But since the recipe called for oatmeal, I used 1 cup of oat bran. Okay, and then I used 1 cup of oatmeal, okay? And now Trader Joe's, good old Trader Joe's. And you can get your oat bran at like Whole Foods or Fresh and Easy, okay? So you need 2 cups of oatmeal or a cup of oat bran and a cup of oatmeal according to what you like, okay? Also, you need 2 cups of milk. Now, of course, I don't use the milk, so I got my almond breeze and I use my coconut flavor almond milk. Okay, 2 cups, okay? And then also you need a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm sorry, yes, a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm sorry, I'm thinking, oh, no, a teaspoon of cinnamon, okay? And that's what the recipe called for. Now, I veered off from what the recipe called for slightly, adding a couple of extra ingredients. Like, for example, I used a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, okay? Wanted to add a little bit more flavor, and spices are so good for you. They're so healthy for you, so I try to use as much as I can. And then I also added a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, now vanilla wasn't called for in the recipe, but once again, love the flavor, okay? And then something else that the recipe did not call for, but I used anyways. I got some Trader Joe's cranberries, or you can use raisins, or if you don't like either, don't put either in. But I put a 1/4 cup of dry cranberries in it. And then, of course, I need my good old sea salt. You need a pinch of sea salt. Okay, now don't want to forget the sweetener. So the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I don't use regular sugar. I don't use brown sugar. So what I did, use my good old xylitol. Get it from Whole Foods. It's from vegetables and plants. It's where it's derivative. It's not chemical. But I used a 1/4 cup of xylitol. Okay, so those are my ingredients. The recipe is just so simple. Like I said, you don't even need a spoon to stir. Okay, you take your crock pot. What you do is you take your sliced fruit, okay, I'm just going to say sliced fruit. Once again, 2 apples is what it calls for. I use 2 apples and 1 pear. You put your sliced fruit in the bottom of the crock pot, okay? And then on top of that, what you want to do is you want to put on top of it your 1 teaspoon of vanilla, okay? Your 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, your 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, and your 1/4 cup of sugar. Once again, I don't use regular sugar, but it's 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I use my regular sugar, so I'll leave it up to you on what you want to use. And on top of that, You also want to have a pinch of salt. I use sea salt. Okay. And now, on top of that, what you want to do is you want to measure out your oats. Okay. And so you measure out either 2 cups of oatmeal, or 1 cup of oat bran and 1 cup of oatmeal, or even if you wanted 2 cups of oat bran. It looks like it'll all work. Okay, so once again, 2 cups of oatmeal, oat bran, or 1 cup of each. Okay, you put that on top of your apple and your seasoning mixture. Also, you want to make sure if you're going to add the cranberries, to put your cranberries and as well on top of your oats. Okay, so that's what's in the bottom of your crock pot. And then what you do is you measure out your 2 cups, okay, 2 cups of almond breeze, okay, or milk, okay, 2 cups of milk. And you also want to measure out 2 cups of water, okay. You see a little water in there? Okay, anyway, 2 cups of water. And you add the 2 cups of milk and the 2 cups of water to your apple and spices and oatmeal bran mixture. Just pour it on top, okay? And that's all you have to do. And now the recipe says to cook it for about 8 to 9 hours. I cooked mine for about 9 hours. When I woke up, it just smelled so wonderful. And guess breakfast was ready. So, you know, I just scoop it out. And actually what I did is I stirred it. I stirred it up a little bit, okay? And you scoop it out into your container, and here it is. There it is. Oatmeal, oat bran, cranberries, sugar, apple, pear, nutmeg, cinnamon, vanilla, water, milk, cranberries. Very good, and oh so ready. Another great recipe. So simple, and I'm all about simplicity. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a message. And also, I'm going to put the ingredients that I used for my yummy oatmeal in the crock pot in the description box. And please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I find all these wonderful recipes, and all I can't help but share. Okay. All right. Take care.